Thank you.
Thank you. How are you? I'm welcome to make a comment. Then, because we received the letter 3, 4, 5 days ago. Welcome to stay.
Chair, meeting is now being recorded.
Thank you. I would like to call the regular meeting of February 13th, 2023 to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Will the secretary please call roll?
Roll call. Commissioner McLaughlin,
Here.
Commissioner Ramos,
Present.
Commissioner Wu,
Here.
Commissioner Escamilla, Commissioner Oliva,
Here.
Commissioner Leo,
Here.
Chair Pham.
Here.
Chair, quorum has been reached at 5:34.
Thank you. Before we begin, I would like to remind my fellow commissioners to turn your microphone on when speaking and off when not speaking. And when speaking, please place a microphone about 4 inches away from you. Thank you. Members of the public may attend Plan Commission meetings in person or virtually via Zoom. I now invite the Commission Secretary to describe the way the public can access and participate in the meeting.
This meeting is being live streamed via our portal, www.santaana.primegov.com/public/.
to do. A lot of times when these wireless renewals are brought before the commission, staff has already evaluated them and is working with the owners of those facilities to develop conditions of approval that after your adoption, then the facility has to be upgraded anyways. So whether that again continues with the current process or whether that becomes administrative is something that would still be upheld.
And I believe as with other cities that did very similar requirements is that initially there were thoughts that as technology changed over time, as screening technology changed over time, there'll be opportunity for review. So that's hence the reason for they've gone from 5 years to 10 years as we've seen the technology stabilize. And, you know, the companies themselves are often the one pushing for the higher speed and changing out of equipment. So we really have an industry that regulates itself. Our end of it is really looking at continual maintenance, so it doesn't become an issue for the community. And therefore, we believe that the renewal present us with an opportunity to really have it administratively be addressed. So therefore, you know, we believe those will be a recommendation in the future and is asking for your input tonight.
Commissioner Ramos.
Yes, sorry, I had a quick comment. Maybe it's what the call was regarding, but I got a text from the public that there's no audio on the YouTube.
Yeah, there should be now. John unmuted his computer or the AV control.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramos. Commissioner McLaughlin.
With this possible change, are we also, and you talked about technology, I mean, one of the things we approved one in the last 2 or 3 years, but it was a tower that was over 80 feet. Are we going to see more of that coming out? Or is that still at the discretion of we don't necessarily dictate it, but it's at the discretion of the owner of the tower?
So the height itself, I believe we limited to 60 feet. And generally what we have found is that that height has met the industry requirements. It's very, it's not often that we get a request above that height. So we don't expect to see requests like that often.
We had the one down by Sagerstrom down at that strawberry farm.
Like I said, we don't get those often. There are
Yeah.
limited times when we do. However, we don't believe the technology is heading that way.
In your study, can you look at the height of we're getting more high-rise apartment houses, right? And we have us in the single family dwelling, right? So I don't know the technology in terms of like what is the ultimate height and whether these buildings get in the way and all that. But in your study, can you kind of anticipate the future growth since we are building more higher density apartments?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Commissioner Escamilla, do you have?
Well, thank you, staff, for bringing the item for discussion. And I guess just initially, I am supportive of looking to move towards more administrative processes for anything that's kind of a routine effort. I think that, you know, one thing that we oftentimes forget is that it does take a lot of staff time just to prepare for these meetings and these sessions. So any kind of staff time that we can better utilize in more efficient ways, it's, you know, definitely something I'm supportive. So if during the report back, you can also indicate what potential staff savings on a per hour basis per project you might anticipate. I think it just will help us better evaluate, you know, whether to move towards this direction or to continue to have the opportunity for public input at each and every one of these. I would say as far as objective standards, I would be looking for, as Commissioner McLaughlin pointed out, conditions of the site, indicating whether or not they meet current CUP just objective standards. And you know, if those kind of are all green lights there, I would it's probably be favorable, but it definitely look to see a little bit more details to what that ordinance language is. And I do appreciate the continuous cleanup of this 1960 or 1973 code.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Leo, do you have any comments?
You know, I was just listening to that discussion, and I think that the industry will regulate itself to a large extent. They will bring forward new technology, what it is. But I think when you think about our residents, the question is coverage compared to other cities.
Right.
And we've all lived in this, many of us have lived in the city long enough where we used to have calls dropped on certain main streets and interference. So I think as you go through the process, if there's a way we can assist making sure that coverage is equal across the city. If we have to encourage someone to put in another device or communication device or pole, whatever it may be, just so that everybody has equal access or the same ability. Because I think that we learned during the pandemic that there were lots of people who didn't have it. So I think we as a commission need to figure out from a plan perspective, how we make sure that those neighborhoods or those individuals do have some access, because I think almost everybody has a phone. The question is, do we have enough space for it? And are the telecom companies meeting our needs as residents of the city?
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Oliva, do you have any comments?
No comment, but thank you for the information. Look forward to the presentation next month.
Thank you. Commissioner Ramos, do you have any comments?
No additional comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I'm glad we have this discussion item because I've always thought that I think a lot of these items that came before us should be an administrative review, because I know, again, I know that staff spends a lot of time preparing for the items, and a lot of it I feel like can be a review item that's done internally. So I'll look forward to seeing the proposal for the modification, and then we'll discuss further. Thank you, Ali. The second item under staff comment is a discussion on amending the Plan Commission schedule of the regular meeting to every second and fourth Tuesday of each month. Please note, no action will be taken on this item. Ali will now provide a brief presentation.
Thanks again, Chair. Good evening again. So this item is the last item on this evening's agenda. It's a consideration of changing the bylaws to specify that the Planning Commission would meet every second and fourth Tuesday of each month instead of Monday as it currently meets. Modifying this would basically eliminate the need to reschedule Planning Commission meetings due to Monday holidays like Memorial Day and Labor Day. It would also encourage broader community participation by eliminating back-to-back commission and council meetings, which happens occasionally throughout the year. I think October 2022 was the last time this happened. It would also enhance staff's ability to prepare for Planning Commission and City Council meetings by ensuring that these back-to-back meetings are avoided. And then lastly, if this change were to go forward, it would require amending the Planning Commission bylaws, which has been done in the past. It could be done again for this type of endeavor. So just wanted to present that to the commission, and if there's support, we would prepare that with a proposal for a logical start date this calendar year at some point to make that shift.
Thank you, Ali. Does the commission have any questions? Commissioner Axelrod?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say I wholeheartedly agree with the move on account of, today was a holiday for me, but I am here on a Monday. It could have been an interesting 3-day weekend, but I do appreciate the move to Tuesday, at least for my end.
Commissioner Leo?
Why don't we do just, if we're gonna move it, why don't we just move it to Wednesday? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why Tuesday. I mean, I understand there's conflicts, but other people have other conflicts on Tuesdays, so I'm trying to figure out, like, I understand why you want to move it, but I'm trying to figure out, like, others may have conflicts, and so why not move it to Wednesday if not instead of Tuesday?
Thank you, Commissioner Leo. One of the reasons that we asked that it be reflected, but on the opposite of the City Council's calendar, is that it does represent stability in terms of the expectation of when the meetings are. But they are also the opposite exact of the council, so that we don't ever conflict. Oftentimes, council may have special meetings for other necessity, and so that's one reason. The second reason for the staffing process is that we have a regular noticing process that we follow, and what this will enable us to do is to have one process implemented for both City Council and Planning Commission. It serves as a way for us to reduce any potential mistakes that could be made throughout the year for noticing and hosting the meeting. So it's a simply preference matter, but there are a preference towards Tuesdays than other days of the week. What that does is that, number one, again, we don't ever have the same meeting with the city council on the same week, Monday and Tuesday, and that happens about twice, if not 3 times a year. It also allows us to adhere to a single process for deadline for publication and then for mailing. So that way we don't have separate mailing deadlines and separate mailing, publication deadline for city council. So it's a much more continuous and similar process. So that's really the goal, is to allow that to occur. Correct. It could be a Tuesday, correct. But we always have the option of meeting here or in 1600.
Commissioner Oliver, do you have any comments?
Moving to Tuesday is the most logical solution. Monday holidays happen quite often, and it makes it makes rescheduling non-existent. So I'm for Tuesday.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramos.
Yes, also fully supportive. I think there was at least one occasion where we had to reschedule the meeting because of a special meeting that the council had and planning staff had to be there. And I also know that the Community Development Commission meets on the 4th Wednesday of every month. So for all those reasons, I'm also in favor of Tuesday.
Thank you, Commissioner Wu.
I would oppose it.
Is there a
I'd
reason
rather
why?
keep it on Monday.
Okay. So I guess my question would be, it says that, you're planning to propose for the future amendment if there is a clear direction whether or not the commission would like to switch. What's your general consensus from what's been?
So far, we have the general consensus. Sounds like at least a majority would like to move it to Tuesday. That's what I'm hearing.
But to still go for a vote for the change of bylaw.
Correct. It will
So-
come before you. For
So
the
it's not
bylaw
a
change.
done deal yet, right?
Right.
Is there a
What we're
time?
looking for is tonight.
But there's a
we-
majority in favor
Yeah.
of change.
We're seeking directions, and we hear a majority for that, then we would propose. If we don't, then it's a question.
From now to when you kind of put it in writing and a proposal, how long would that be? I just want to ask to make sure that if there are any commissioners who have hesitations on the change in time, that they have a time to reach out to either yourself or Ali to voice their concern, and then kind of give you the time to formalize that language.
I anticipate that the changes won't take effect until 2024 as a calendar year. That's the logical implementation, but in terms of staff preparation for the changes of the bylaw, taking it to the vote, we just wanted to do early enough so that we can anticipate any questions and work through any issues that you may have. But the changes that if and when we take it for a vote, it won't be for this year because the dates for this year's have been set. We won't propose any changes until.
Okay. Commissioner Escamilla.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo the sentiment of having everyone, that does need to check the calendars if there are any direct conflicts, totally respectful of that. So I'm open to alternatives if that's what it'll take to have a non-Monday vote. But I just want to make sure that everyone's on board and that we don't conflict anyone out.
To be very candid, we would take this only if we hear majority. I mean, other days, we don't want to confuse the issue. This was a goal that we have to align it with the council dates on the opposite of the week so that we don't have the 2 weeks conflict, because it does happen 2 to 3 times a year. And then what it also allows staff to do is to have a simple date process of when we publish and when we provide public the notice and when we send notices to the paper. That's really for simplicity of our goal. If there is a desire to keep it the way it is on Mondays, we're okay, but I think changing to other days is not the intent. It's either Monday, keeping it, or Tuesday on the opposite of the city council.
Do any other commissioners have any comments?
And are there any changes to the charter or is it only the bylaws of the planning commission?
Would only be the bylaws for the
Okay.
commission.
That we've voted by the commission, but doesn't need to go to council, right?
Does not.
Yeah, in general, I'm honestly, I'm indifferent to the idea, but I think which I'm always my biggest concern is efficiency. If staff thinks that this is the most efficient way of scheduling and noticing, then I'm in general I'm in favor of that. But I would recommend and encourage any of the commissioners, if you have any pressing items that you need to discuss with staff, I would say meet with staff independently and then to voice your concerns.
I'll commit, I mean, what I've heard tonight, I hear some positive responses, but I also heard some comments. So we'll reach out to the commissioner and talk through some of the concerns. If we can work it out, we would do our best to do that.
We still have the option of attending by Zoom, right?
Well, right now, yes. For the time being, yes.
Are you foreshadowing something, Commissioner Wu?
No, I have a daughter that does not drive. So later on in the week, I might have to pick her up. That's the only thing. So unless I like doing my business on Monday, I don't have nothing else to do the rest of the week.
Thank you, Commissioner. Seeing no other comments, we'll move on to final comments. Are there any comments from staff?
Yes, I just want to say welcome to our 3 new commissioners, as well as congratulations to our vice chair. Look forward to working with you in the upcoming year. Thank you.
Are there any comments from the commissioners?
Just glad to be on board. So Ali, Min, nice to see you all again. So this is kind of cool for me. And I guess I just don't know, like, if it's a time to like bring up just general planning things going on in the world that like staff take a look at, like, or just I'm looking at John maybe on general comments.
This would be time for any general comment.
Okay.
Anyone.
No, there was just a wonderful article or a good opinion piece out of the San Francisco Chronicle on point access buildings. So just kind of updating the code to basically eliminate double stairway requirements in certain apartment structures within certain would that meet certain criteria. I'll forward it to staff, but I just thought it would be interesting to look at as we take a look at the code adoptions and code revisions. I think that this would be more along our local fire code and building code, but I still think that it would be important to take a look at because it could impact the viability of different projects in the city. That's my comment.
Commissioner Leo, do you have any comments?
Just to, since I'm new, I'm wondering if you, at the next meeting, could you let us know, interest rates started to go up September of last year. How many projects have been submitted since the interest rates started to go up because access to capital became difficult, if any have been submitted? Second of all, when we met on Friday, as in my intro, you said we had met our RENA numbers and our affordable housing numbers. Could you kind of just provide just the numbers so that we know kind of not only what's been approved and sticks coming out of the ground and what's already been approved and what's in the pipeline? Because as you know, the surrounding cities are starting to see, the builder remedy because their stuff's not done. You guys should get credit for getting everything done, approving and meeting our RENA numbers. We should get some benefits out of that. And I think the city should get a lot of credit for that because other cities aren't doing their share. So if you can provide us that, we can get that information out. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner McLaughlin. Vice Chair.
Just building on what Chris just mentioned, I congratulations, because I think what was it, out of 538 municipalities, we came in like 29th and we were A+ on everything. So I think that's a testimony to we're heading in the right direction. We're doing the right things and appreciate that. I also wanted to just say, I just put a little note on everybody's seat here. We just received, Floral Park just received historic designation from the Secretary of Interior. We also have acceptance from the SHPA, which is the State Historic Preservation Group. So we've made a little soft announcement at this point in time. the neighborhood will start to see letters coming in from both the feds and the state noting that the neighborhood is now a historic district. And so there's a lot of things that we're still going to have to continue to figure out how we're going to do it, but it's a big plus from our standpoint. I think it's a big plus from Santa Ana's perspective too. So we're the second largest historic district in the state, or in the county, sorry. Orange is the largest, but we're the second. So I think that's good. And we are the largest in Santa Ana. That we've got 636 houses that are currently within the district. So this is a good thing, and it's been a long road. I mean, I started this as president of the Neighborhood Association back in 2008. We formed the committee, and it's taken us all that time to get organized and get to the final, finish line at this point in time. We're not quite there, but we're almost there. So I appreciate the help that we've had from the planning department, and especially from the historic guys. Manny was part of that. I mean, it's been 16 years. You had to have been part of it, right? So we're happy about that situation. And last but not least, I just want to thank and welcome all the new commissioners, and look forward to working with you. That's it. Thank you.
Can I ask Chairman Commissioner Mark a question? In your neighborhood, the first postmaster general that was a Latino was Hector Godinez. Is there a way of your committee looking into giving it a little recognition in your historic district?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, his house is a historic house at this point in time.
Thank you.
And it's based on the fact that he was the first Hispanic postmaster for the city of Santa Ana. So that is being taken care of.
Commissioner Oliva? Thank you. Commissioner Ramos?
Yes, I just want to welcome the new commissioners, congratulate our new vice chair, and also just happy to see that there's another woman on the commission now. There was a letter last year that was addressed to the gentleman of the planning commission. So I hope that those mistakes won't be made anymore now that there's two of us here.
Great. Commissioner Wu?
Welcome aboard, your new commissioner. I wanted to follow up on what Commissioner Leo asked regarding the interest rate, but from this standpoint, I noticed that often development that is done by community groups from the community, not particularly in this city, but in other cities as well, are being overshadowed from people from out of state with a lot of money. I mean, I understand that is the marketplace, and sometimes they gobble up the property, but they don't do anything, or they don't do a project that is from the perspective of how the community might want to see it done and who is served in the way that they want it to serve, and create the jobs for the people in the community. So I don't know if there's anything that we can do. I just think that we need to be sensitive when some of these development comes up. Of course, they're going to look great. These people have great money. They're sophisticated in their discussion. I kind of like to see more minority community development groups, proposing projects as well. And that may be just something that's happening in the marketplace, but I don't want to get the feeling that people think that Santa Ana is a place to kind of just rape and plunder, and I don't think it is. You guys are pretty good at vetting things,
Thank you, Commissioner. While we can't dictate who come into our city to develop, we do, as staff, advocate on our community's behalf when we do get projects in front of us. We provide the input as to what our community is looking for, the type of projects that, and issues that are important to our city council and commission. And then also the the type of product that we need and the quality of the product. So regardless of who comes into our city, we advocate for the community through that aspect so that the project at the end of the day serves our community in more ways than just what the developer is looking to develop.
And since this is Black History Month, I thought we close. I'd like to suggest we close the meeting in honor of Black History Month and looking at what's happening in Ohio with that train wreck and the toxic waste going in the community. I sure am glad we have an active environmental justice group out in the community.
Thank you, Commissioner Wu.
Catch one more.
Please, go ahead.
Just one thing, building on, again, what Chris was talking about. The Christine Ridge is going to be presenting at the GROW conference in a couple of months, where we're going with certain projects and everything else. The other thing is that, I mean, we do have a lot of projects that are underway in the city. And maybe it would be a good thing because we've got 3 new people. It might be something that we could get a presentation, a work study on this to just say, here's what's in the pipeline and under construction. Here's what's in the planning pipeline.
Thank you, Vice Chair. We typically do like a major development update once a year for the commission.
Right.
So thanks for the reminder. Typically it's right around summertime, like July, early July. If there's a desire to see it sooner with the new commissioners, we can certainly accelerate it.
I mean, it makes, if we're going to have to if you're going to be pulling documents together for Christine to do her presentation, you're not going to do much. There's not much more that you're going to leave out of it. So we might as well just kill 2 birds with 1 stone and say, hey, do it in March timeframe. April is when the GROW conference is. We had a jump on the thing.
For sure, you just want to see what our boss is going to.
That's right. That's right. No, what? Huh? Come on.
We'll do our best.
All right.
That sounds good. I'd like to welcome all the commissioners back to our regular scheduled programming. I know everyone had a nice break. Minna Ali obviously has been working since the start of the new year, so no break for them. But overall, welcome to all the new commissioners. I welcome all the diverse perspective that everyone has. Sounds like there's a wealth of knowledge sitting here. And other than that, we'll adjourn to our next regular meeting that will be held Monday, February 27th at 5:30. Thank you.